Welcome back to Higher Education Marketing Insider, brought to you by the Higher Education Marketing Institute. Today, we're digging into a real shift. AI is now the front door for your institution, but it's still humans who close the deal. If you're still optimizing for blue links and thinking rankings are the finish line, you're already behind.
That's not just a hot take, it's backed by the numbers. In the last year, we've seen zero-click AI answers leapfrog traditional search. And it's not just Google's AI overviews. Prospective students are asking ChatGPT and Perplexity for program recommendations, and those engines are synthesizing, citing, and framing your institution whether you're ready or not.
So, let's start with the headline. AI discovery is upstream now. According to the Manifera AI Index, nearly half of adult learners use AI search engines at some point in their college search, and 68% prefer ChatGPT for those queries. That means the first impression isn't your homepage. It's the answer box or the AI-generated summary.
And that's a different game. You don't win by being the best blog on a topic anymore. You win by being the cited source that AI trusts, can parse, and can summarize cleanly. Schema, structured data, clear program pages. Those aren't nice to haves. They're the new table stakes.
Let's talk tactics. The latest Hemi playbook is clear. If you want AI to surface, cite, and frame your institution accurately, you need schema-rich program pages, transparent costs and outcomes, and data tables that mirror student intent. Gone are the days when you could get by with a wall of text and a few testimonials.
But here's the catch. Even if you nail the technical side, you're only halfway there. The actual conversion, the moment a prospect commits, still happens in human conversation. Karen Hamilton at McMaster University put it well in her interview with Ivo Lucian. Automation scales, but human connection converts. When they layered personalized outreach on top of their high-intent audience, conversions jumped from 25% to 43%.
That's a real lift, and it matches what we're seeing in the field. The best performing enrollment teams are pairing machine-readable discovery with tailored, empathetic follow-up. AI gets you in the consideration set, but it's the advisor who helps a student feel confident enough to enroll. There's a reason the playbook says, AI drafts, humans close.
Let's break down what that looks like in practice. First, you need to audit how your institution shows up in AI answers. Tools like the Manifera AI Index let you see which programs are being cited, which student questions you appear for, and how you stack up against competitors. If you're not doing this, you're flying blind.
Exactly. Then, you need to operationalize for AI visibility. That means standing up cross-functional governance. Think of it as a search council, to audit answer accuracy, technical health, and content freshness. It's not just the SO team's job anymore. Marketing, IT, admissions, and even faculty need to be aligned on what signals you're sending to machines.
And let's not forget content governance. Kristen Nichols at Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, speaking on a Stamets panel, made a point that stuck with me. It's not about how many pages you have, it's about the richness of the content on your best pages. Weed the garden, prune underperforming content, fix outdated PDFs, and make sure every page serves a clear user and AI purpose.
That's not glamorous work, but it's what moves the needle. If your program facts are scattered across a dozen pages, or buried in a PDF, AI models will either hallucinate or skip you entirely. Schema markup, clear subheads, and downloadable data tables are what make you citable.
And don't assume your content is being read the way you intended. As Sean Taylor at Archer Education highlights, generative engine optimization, or GEO, isn't about ranking, it's about interpretation. AI models synthesize across your program pages, faculty bios, third-party reviews, and outcomes data. If your messaging isn't consistent, you're at risk of being summarized blandly, or even inaccurately.
Let's get specific. The Manifera AI Index methodology is worth a look. They evaluated more than 200,000 student prompts across 100+ programs, checking which institutions were cited in live AI responses across all 50 states. This isn't just about being mentioned. It's about being recommended, cited, and framed as the answer to a real student question.
And the results are telling. In mid-2025, 76% of AI overview citations came from the top 10 organic results. By early 2026, that dropped to 38%. So ranking on page 1 is no longer a guarantee you'll be cited by AI. That's a wake-up call for anyone still laser-focused on old-school SEO dashboards.
So, what actually works? Here are the non-negotiables. 1. Publish schema-rich, canonical program pages with transparent costs, outcomes, and clear FAQs. 2. Prune your content. Focus on authority and clarity over volume. 3. Strengthen your off-site signals, Google Business Profile, credible reviews, and third-party mentions all influence AI models.
And 4. Pair machine discovery with human follow-up. That's where the conversion happens. Karen Hamilton's team at McMaster used CRM data to identify high-intent prospects, then invited them to short, one-on-one conversations. Engagement soared. Email open rates jumped from 44% to 78%, and conversion rates nearly doubled.
It's not about more touches. It's about the right touch, at the right time, with a real person. By the time a prospect is repeatedly visiting your program pages or registering for events, they don't need more information. They need confidence. That's the moment to shift from promoting programs to helping learners move forward.
And let's talk about measurement. The smartest teams are moving away from vanity metrics like impressions or clicks. Instead, they're tracking qualified inquiries, visits, and application starts. If your dashboard stops at traffic, you're missing the point. The outcome is what matters. Enrollment, not just awareness.
On the technical side, don't sleep on site architecture. Decoupled CMS platforms that serve lightweight static HTML, like Pan and Hill Cascade, are making it easier for LLMs to crawl and cite your content. Fast, crawlable sites with clean sitemaps and downloadable data make you more visible in both traditional search and AI answers.
But let's not pretend this is all upside. There's tension here. As more of the discovery journey moves upstream to AI and third parties, your website is becoming a validation hub rather than the front door. That's uncomfortable for teams used to measuring their impact in clicks and time on site.
It's a real shift. Homepages are losing relevance. Answer engines decide your first impression, sometimes before a student ever sees your logo. That means you need to invest in the signals that matter, not just the ones you can easily measure.
And there's another wrinkle. Higher ed marketing is both B2B and B2C. The decision process involves students, parents, counselors, and sometimes even coaches. Each has different priorities, and AI models are synthesizing across all those perspectives. Your content needs to address ROI, campus life, outcomes, and fit, all in language both humans and machines understand.
Let's not forget the emotional side. Even with all this tech, the final decision often comes down to gut feeling. Students want to see themselves at your institution. That's why authentic social storytelling, student voices, and real video clips still matter for trust. As one panelist said, being boring in your messaging is now a competitive risk.
And don't underestimate the skepticism out there. As Jeff Bunch at Spokane Colleges pointed out, today's students are growing up with a constant stream of misinformation. They are quick to dismiss anything that sounds insincere or outdated. That's another reason to audit your digital presence regularly, mystery shop your own brand, and fix content that doesn't serve users or LLMs.
So, where does all this leave enrollment and marketing leaders? Here's the checklist. Audit your AI presence. Prioritize schema and structured content. Strengthen off-site authority. Prune and update your site. Pair machine discovery with real human outreach. And measure outcomes, not just activity.
And if you're looking for a starting point, try running your program pages through an AI website grader. Search Influence has a free tool that checks content structure, schema, technical health, and on-page SEO. It won't guarantee you a citation, but it will show you where your signals are strong and where you're invisible.
One last point. Don't treat this as a one-and-done project. AI models update, student behavior shifts, and what works today may be table stakes tomorrow. Set up a regular cadence for audits, cross-team reviews, and content refreshes. The institutions that treat this as an ongoing operational priority, not a campaign, are the ones that will keep showing up in both AI and human conversations.
And remember, the funnel is gone. Today's student journey is an orbit, not a straight line. Learners validate cost, convenience, and career at every turn. Your job is to meet them with clarity, empathy, and proof, whether that's in an AI answer box or a real conversation.
So, to wrap up, AI is the new front door, but people still close the deal. The smartest playbook pairs machine-readable discovery with authentic human follow-up. That's how you protect your brand, drive enrollment, and actually deliver on the promise of higher ed marketing in 2026.
If you want to go deeper, check out the latest playbooks, audit tools, and case studies at Higher Education Marketing Institute. And don't forget to benchmark your AI visibility, because if you're not being cited, you're not being considered. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Before we close, let's get into what this shift means for teams on the ground. There's a temptation to think, if we just upgrade our schema and tighten up our program pages, we're set. But as the Stamets panel pointed out, that's only half the equation. AI can surface your facts, but it can't build trust or handle the emotional calculus that goes into a major life decision. The handoff from digital discovery to human engagement is where most institutions either shine or stall.
I want to pause there because it's easy to say pair AI with human outreach, but the operational reality is messy. Not every institution has the resources to staff a team of advisors ready to jump on every high-intent signal, and not every CRM is set up for real-time behavioral scoring. Karen Hamilton's example at McMaster worked because they built a system to flag repeat visitors and trigger outreach. That takes buy-in, budget, and a willingness to rethink roles. I'm not convinced most schools are ready for that level of integration.
That's a fair point. But the alternative is letting AI models and third-party platforms own your first and sometimes only impression. If you don't invest in both the technical and human sides, you risk being summarized as just another generic option. And the data backs this up. When schools added personalized conversations for high-intent prospects, conversion rates jumped from 25% to 43%. That's not theoretical. It's a measurable outcome you can take to your leadership.
But even as we talk about conversion rates and CRM signals, there's a danger of leaning too hard into automation. You can automate segmentation and outreach, but trust is still built one conversation at a time. Automation scales, but human nuance closes. That's why the best programs use AI to triage and route, but let advisors handle the real questions: fit, financial aid, life logistics. It's not about replacing people, it's about making sure your people are focused on the moments that matter most.
And here is where content governance comes back into play. Kristen Nichols' advice to weed the garden isn't just about technical health. It's about making sure the story AI tells matches what your staff can deliver. If your site promises flexible schedules and career outcomes, but your advisors can't speak to those details, you're setting up a disconnect that erodes trust, both with students and with the AI models that synthesize your message.
And let's not ignore the B2B B2C complexity. As the Hannon Hill piece breaks down, families approach college like a major procurement decision. They want proof points, ROI data, and reassurance from multiple stakeholders. At the same time, the final choice often swings on gut feeling. That's a paradox. You need to provide both the rational evidence for parents and counselors and the emotional connection for the student. AI can help surface facts, but only people can bridge that emotional gap.
That's why social storytelling still matters, even in an AI-first world. Amira Butler at UT Southwestern talked about the need for relatable, authentic stories that break through the noise. The best content isn't just optimized for machines. It's built to engage real people. Quick clips, student voices, quotes that feel unscripted. And according to Stamets, those are the assets that build trust and keep people moving through the journey, even as the surface level discovery shifts upstream.
Let's get tactical for a minute. If you're listening and thinking, what do I do Monday morning? Start by mystery shopping your own institution. Ask ChatGPT or Perplexity about your programs. Are you being cited? Is the information accurate? If you find gaps, prioritize those fixes over launching another blog series. Then, audit your top landing pages for schema, clear subheads, and downloadable data tables. And finally, look at your CRM workflows. Are you actually identifying and engaging high-intent prospects, or just running generic nurture sequences?
And don't overlook the technical stack. If your CMS can't serve lightweight, crawlable HTML, or if key facts are buried in PDFs, you're handicapping your AI visibility from the start. Hannon Hill Cascade and other decoupled CMS platforms are making it easier to pre-generate static content that LLMs can consume. That's not just a nice to have, it's a competitive advantage in a world where AI answers are the new search gateway.
But here's where I'll push back. Not every institution needs to chase the bleeding edge. There's a risk of overcorrecting. spending too much time on technical tweaks while overlooking the basics of service and follow-up. As Jeffrey Harris said on the Stamets panel, AI isn't the strategy, it's a tool. The real strategy is knowing who you are, what makes you different, and making sure that story is told consistently across every channel, human and machine alike.
Agreed, but the basics have changed. The education dynamics analysis on the collapse of the funnel is blunt about it. The old linear journey is gone. Discovery, validation, and decision-making now happen across AI, social, third-party reviews, and your own site, often in parallel, not sequence. If you're still expecting students to move stepwise from awareness to inquiry to application, you're missing how fragmented the real process has become.
And that fragmentation means your measurement has to evolve. 2. The days of measuring success by organic traffic or keyword rankings are behind us. The new metrics are inclusion in AI answers, qualified inquiries, actual conversations, and ultimately enrollments. If you're not tracking which student questions you're being cited for, or how often you're being recommended in AI responses, you're missing blind spots that your competitors may be exploiting.
That's where benchmarking tools like the Manifera AI Index come in. They are not just tracking mentions, they are showing which programs are being recommended, which student questions you're answering, and how you stack up against peers. It's a new layer of competitive intelligence, and it's quickly becoming as important as your traditional SAW dashboard.
But let's be realistic. Most teams aren't staffed for constant AI auditing. That's why cross-functional governance is rising in importance. The Search Council model from Hemi is about pulling in marketing, IT, admissions, and even academic leads to keep your signals fresh and accurate. It's not just about fixing broken links or updating meta tags. It's about aligning on what your institution stands for and making sure every channel, page, and human interaction reinforces that story.
And don't underestimate the value of pruning. As Kristen Nichols says, it's not about page count but about depth and authority on your most visible pages. Every piece of outdated or duplicative content is a liability. It confuses both AI models and real students. If you can't maintain it, cut it. Focus your resources on building a handful of canonical, high-authority assets that answer real student questions.
That's a good segue to the role of reviews and third-party authority. AI models don't just look at your .edu. They synthesize from Google Business Profile, external directories, and even Reddit threads. If your off-site presence is weak, or if reviews are updated, you may find yourself cited less often or framed less positively. Here is where PR and reputation management are now part of the enrollment funnel, whether we like it or not.
And for institutions with limited resources, that means prioritizing ruthlessly. Audit your presence in the places AI models actually scrape. Program aggregators, review sites, local listings. Make sure your data is accurate, up to date, and matches what's on your own site. Consistency is the new credibility signal, both for humans and for machines.
I want to circle back to the emotional side, because it's easy to get lost in the technical weeds. The Hannon Hill blog is clear. Even with all the B2B style due diligence, final decisions are emotional. Students and families want to see themselves at your institution. That's why video, student testimonials, and authentic social content still have outsized impact. If your digital presence feels sterile or generic, you risk being summarized as just another option, by AI and by people.
And that's where the risk of being boring comes in. As the Stamets panel warned, in a world of information overload and skepticism, safe messaging is invisible. The institutions that stand out are willing to show real faces, real stories, and even a little personality. AI can't fake that, and neither can polished generic copy.
And let's address one more practical concern, the measurement trap. There's a temptation to chase every new metric, AI citations, inclusion rates, query coverage. But if those numbers don't connect to outcomes, they're just noise. The teams winning today are the ones that tie every visibility effort back to qualified conversations and enrollments. It's not about ranking for ranking's sake. It's about being chosen.
So, as we wrap up, here are the takeaways for enrollment and marketing leaders. 1. Treat AI visibility as the new baseline for discovery. 2. Prune and strengthen your content for both machines and people. 3. Build cross-functional teams to manage your signals, not just your site. 4. Prioritize human connection at the moments that matter, especially in follow-up. 5. Measure what leads to actual enrollment, not just what looks good in a report.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed, remember, this isn't about chasing every trend or launching a dozen new projects. It's about focusing on what's proven to work: structured, transparent content, consistent, authentic storytelling, and timely, empathetic human outreach. The institutions that do those three things well, and keep iterating, will keep showing up where it counts.
That's our show for today. For deeper dives, practical guides, and benchmarking tools, visit Higher Education Marketing Institute. And if you're not sure where to start, mystery shop your institution's digital presence. See what AI and your prospective students see. Because in 2026, if you're not visible in AI, you're not visible. Period.
And don't forget, AI is the front door, but people still close the deal. Invest in both, and you'll protect your brand, drive enrollment, and actually deliver the experience students want. Thanks for listening to Higher Education Marketing Insider. We'll see you next time.